When I asked someone I had just sold a house to who moved here from a warmer climate what way they would describe living in northern Michigan in the wintertime versus the summer, they said the word they would use is inconvenient. It's a lot less convenient to live in northern Michigan during the winter than it is during the summer. It takes you a lot longer to get to places because you have to contend with the weather. And on a day like today where we had a surprise snowstorm, my commute is a lot longer than I expected it to be, making each of my appointments a little bit harder to schedule. Also, a question I was recently asked by a buyer is, what area should I live in Petoskey if I'm worried about the winter? Should I live closer to town or a little bit further out in the country? And my response to them was simple. The winter here isn't that bad, and it's not really that bad on many days. Sure, a day like today where we had a surprise snowstorm is a little hard to deal with, but most winter days are just regular days. Sure, it takes you a little bit longer to get places. Sure, it's a little bit colder. Sure, you have to deal with the snow, but those are just a couple of things you have to deal with in order to live in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. So if you're somebody that doesn't like driving in the snow, you're gonna wanna be a little bit closer to town or closer to where you work or where your kids go to school or the hospital if that's important to you. If you're okay driving and you're okay having a car with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive with good tires, you can live almost anywhere in Petoskey and still have the conveniences of living in Petoskey. Now, I'm not here to scare you. I just wanted to give you the honest truth of what it's like to live in Petoskey in the wintertime. If after watching this video, you are still interested in relocating to Petoskey, feel free to call me directly at 231-487-6141. And for more videos like this and everything Northern Michigan related, please subscribe to my channel. During the winter months, the coffee shops in downtown Petoskey become less about getting a good cup of coffee and more about staying connected to the community. In the summer, when there's a lot of stuff going on and it's easy to see people, you don't have to worry about it as much, but in the winter, when everybody is locked inside of their houses, it's a little bit harder to stay connected. That's why I often make the walk in the cold temperatures down to North Perk to grab a great cup of coffee and know that I will always run into a few people that I haven't seen in a while. Not only are the local coffee shops a great way to stay connected, but believe it or not, the ski hills in northern Michigan become the social hubs during winter weekends. It's a great place to go, get outside, be active, and see tons and tons of people you know. Right now, I'm at my favorite ski hill, Boyne Highlands, which is located just 35 minutes from downtown Petoskey in Harbor Springs, just around the bay. They've got great activities for kids and adults alike, great restaurants, and even the Waffle Cabin. To tell a little bit of a personal story, my son started the Mountain Masters program at Boyne Highlands when he was about 3 years old and stayed in it for 5 years. And now at 11 years old, he is an incredible skier. And I have tons of other parents that are my friends that have done the same things. And believe it or not, if you're in northern Michigan year round, it's more than likely that you and your kids are going to end up skiing. In fact, today is a snow day for a lot of the local schools, and there are tons and tons of kids here. And before we get too far, at the end of this, I'm gonna tell you about a place that you can live in northern Michigan that you might not even know about it. Also, if you're watching this and you're familiar with the ski hills in northern Michigan, drop a comment below and let me know your favorite one. Now let's talk about what it's really like to live downtown Petoskey in the wintertime. You see these big, beautiful buildings. They're not just built like that to look nice. They're built like that to handle serious winter weather. All right, so right now I'm walking into Home Depot to tell you exactly what you need to survive. And while I'm in Home Depot, something else to consider is a lot of locals use the winter months to do a lot of the DIY projects they didn't have time to do during the busy summer months. Things like adding insulation, maybe even adding on a whole room to a house are just a couple of the things that people use the slow winter months to get done. Now, I promised I wouldn't sugarcoat what living in northern Michigan in the wintertime was really like. It's definitely something that you have to contend with if you've never lived in a cold climate before. Things like snow days and removing snow and making sure your house is well insulated are just a couple of things you really need to consider before deciding if relocating to Petoskey is right for you. See this beautiful lake in the background? In the winter, this becomes a snow machine. And what has happened on a day like today is we get what's called lake effect snow. This means you can get a lot of snow because of the weather patterns over the water without even expecting it. Now, I'm not here to scare you away from relocating to northern Michigan. My goal is just to tell you exactly what it's like to live here without sugarcoating anything. If after watching this video, you'd like to learn more about what it's actually like to live in Petoskey or anywhere in Northern Michigan, reach out to me directly at 231-487-6141. And for more honest videos about what it's like to live in Northern Michigan, please subscribe to my channel.